The highly anticipated History of the Mariana Islands to Partition is now available. During a book launch and signing at the University of Guam, CNMI Commissioner of Education Dr. Rita Sablan says the project was meticulously researched by author Don Farrell, incorporating much of what was written about the Marianas over the last 20 years. Dr. Sablan mentions Farrell came to see her in 2008 about publishing a new edition for the CNMI school system. The project was then approved in January 2009.
So Don took off since January 22nd, 2009. We let him, have his chance to, do this. He went everywhere to gather the materials to make sure that the edition will actually be very current in terms of new developments in the research.
In front of his colleagues and friends, Farrell paid tribute to those who paved the way for this book. He also explains the 370-page hardbound copy is filled with numerous images and art from the region and covers the history of the Mariana Islands, starting from its geological development.
I felt that it was very important, instrumental in identifying the geology and biology of the islands to lay a groundwork, a framework for the environment that was found by those first explorers, right, some thousands of years ago, who happened upon these islands and were able to survive here.
Farrell goes on to say the first volume tells the history of the Mariana Islands all the way to the Spanish-American War. He also explains the meaning behind the title of the book, focusing on how the islands were once unified.
It was one Marianas for thousands and thousands of years, and the Chamorros traveled freely between the islands. And they shared one language and one culture until the arrival of a foreign power who intervened in history by separating Guam from the northern Mariana Islands, sending those two groups in different directions.
Over 100 years have passed since the partition, which is the portion he is now working on for the second volume. But Farrell himself has witnessed the recent changes to Guam's history since he moved here in the late 70s.
I arrived here in '77 when the leftovers of the Vietnam War were still very present on the highways of Guam. And then I lived through the base reductions in 1995, and there was a downsizing of the military. And a lot of people left the island, and the island became quiet again. And now we see a resurgence of the military development and all of the problems that's causing to the society of Guam. But that's another book.